The game Biochemical Wasteland opens a decayed world where players live real pain in virtual hell. As soon as it launched, it stormed the charts like a digital typhoon. Humanity once nuked itself, survivors hid underground. The poison turned into freaks. The rulers built a new breed of humans to reclaim the barren surface. Players act as reborn warriors to purge the mutated horrors. As their level rises, they crave chaos over chores. The devs drop explosive storylines that make hearts combust. Star of the show, the Apocalypse Abyss dungeon shook the community. That event drew pros underground like moths to mayhem. The dungeon zones and difficulty were mysteries, and monsters pure nightmare fuel. Survive 1 hour in Silent City and you're instant legend. Kill a few beasts there and you can brag till next season. The more kills, the stronger the player, like chugging pixel steroids. Just when victory seemed near, disaster struck faster than a blink. A colossal beast charged in, turning the field into a meat grinder. It was a three-headed demon hound carrying a group of strangers. Their leader, Zenfam, the alien king, sneered at the unlucky. He vowed to wipe the arena clean, no survivors allowed. Then he morphed and sliced heads like plucking fruit. He admired the raining skulls, grinning like a blood-soaked art critic. His two female allies complained he acted too early, ruining gamer fun. Then the bug queen giggled, demanding to crush whoever spoiled her tea hour. She ranted so fiercely that Fangoo awkwardly claimed he just overdid it a bit. While they argued, another girl calmly ate snacks atop the demon hound, prompting Fangoo to suggest a picnic. But the three beauties caroused they'd rather mince players first. True villain style, they charged in, turning the stage into a crimson carnival. Viewers gawked, who was this brutal Fangoo squad anyway? It all began back when he was just an ordinary schoolboy. One normal day turned fateful when thugs blocked him for pocket change. He just stared, silent as stone, but that icy gaze made the punks flinch. The reed-haired leader still barked insults, hungry for drama. Suddenly, a stern voice cut through as a figure stepped into the yard. The newcomer scolded them, touch her student, and they'd win a hospital trip. Seeing Jiang Qiu and Zhao Susu, the bullies paled and backed off. Their leader still muttered that Fangoo would suffer for hiding behind skirts. Qiu smirked, saying he should toughen up, no one would dare touch him with her around. Fangoo smiled faintly, asking what they really wanted from him. Susu jumped in, saying Saiou warned this wasn't over with those punks. Right then, Wuting dashed in, panting and asking if her senior was hurt. Fangoo smiled, patting her head and thanking her for calling reinforcements. Wuting blushed furiously, heart thundering like festival drums. Inside, she cursed the ancestors of those three buffoons to eternal misery. She clenched her teeth, vowing payback on anyone who dared mess with her and her crush. Seeing her frustration, Fangoo scratched his head and laughed awkwardly, saying everything was fine. Wuting brightened up, promising once gone paid his dad's bills, the team would grind together again. Susu chimed in, offering to lend surgery money and praising him as the team's soul. But Fangoo politely refused, saying he'd earn it through part-time work. Before leaving, he reassured them he'd soon return with enough cash and rejoin the squad. Qiu patted Wuting's shoulder, saying that guy's as stubborn as a mountain, he would take gold if offered. Susu sighed, admitting she worried yet admired him, knowing he was their hidden ace. She believed if Fangoo stayed, the team would soon conquer the final dungeon. With her sharp tactical eye, Susu saw his control skills were near unmatched. That strength rivaled the legend Yai Shen Fangoo, who once rocked the gaming world. Qiu gasped in disbelief, while Susu swore her senior was even stronger than that legend. That evening, Fangoo treated the group to dinner, warm hearts, ready minds for the next grind. As night fell, his small apartment still lit. His mother called, saying his father refused surgery. He calmed her with steady yet heavy words, promising to pay half tomorrow and begging her not to worry. After the accident, compensation came but barely covered a fraction. That money could only stall the long, brutal treatment ahead, so Fangoo studied and worked nonstop, saving every coin and borrowing from kin, finally scraping half the cost. He thought paying tomorrow might ease the weight in his chest. After half a year of endless work, he hadn't touched a controller, just stared at it, missing his crew. After some hesitation, he decided to return to the digital battlefield. Staring at his avatar, he rubbed his chin, afraid they'd think he broke his word. Then he remembered his old account and logged into his long-dormant main. The name glowed, Yishen Fangoo, a handle that once made the server tremble. Since his father's accident, that account had slept, logging and again ignited his blood. As he tweaked his gear, he chuckled, recalling how he once soloed Zhong Maiziuan and made a smurf to join Lady Kia's team. If they knew who he really was, they'd probably kick him out faster than a hockey tap. Suddenly, a new system alert popped up, would message him after half a year. He opened it, a system invitation to a special challenge. The more he read, the more his face twisted. Real cash prize, smelled like a scam buffet. But if it was legit, it could be the beacon to save his dad. He thought, why not gamble once? Worst case, I lose nothing. He inhaled deeply and hit confirm, heart pounding like war drums. Blue-violet lightning coiled around his avatar as if a portal yawned open. A spiral of light swallowed him, spinning like laundry in a cosmic washer. He struggled, but the system reeled him in like a fish on a line. When it ended, his body lay sprawled in a ruined wasteland, wind howling like ghosts. He opened his eyes, bewildered, not knowing where he was. Rubbing his aching head, he muttered, Why is this game so freakishly realistic? The sensations were so vivid he suspected he wasn't in a game anymore but truly pulled inside it. But then an even creepier sight froze his blood solid. The former to prank player had turned into a zombie. Before he could scream, the system panel popped up a chilling welcome. Welcome, Zenfam, the mutant summoned to save monsters from extinction. He frowned, muttering, "Zombie, aren't these the poor saps players slaughter for XP? Checking stats?" He almost laughed. Level 1 zombie, weak enough to get blown over by wind. Meanwhile, the Neohumans ruled the surface, hunting mutants to the edge of the world. The alien lords were scattered, humans godlike without a comeback. Extinction loomed. Fangoo studied the lore, puzzled. Weren't mutants the bad guys before? Did the devs flip the factions while I was gone half a year? Being dragged into the villain side in real life, truly gamer tragedy deluxe. Meet a high-level grinder and him toast. He groaned, sweating bullets. The system comforted him, saved the world, and had returned home sounded like a soul sale contract. He muttered, "Feels like the dark mode of Spirit I'm Chamber 2. Man, if this is real." He shuddered. Then it's no game, it's another freaking world. Before he could breathe, the system blared again, assigning a rookie quest. First task, kill a massive energy parasite he wanted to rage quit on sight. He gritted his teeth. Level gap this bit. You want me reincarnated early? The system stayed frosty, killed mobs revive after 24 hours. Unless it's the real deal, then permanent death. He muttered suspiciously. What if the thing I kill respawns and comes for revenge? Big Q me alive. The system spammed sweet words while he grumbled that this game was pure madness. But thinking of his father awaiting surgery, his heart sank. If not now, then never. Finish the quest, earn the reward, save his dad. Simple math for salvation. Once the legend Yishin Fangoo, now reborn as a mutant, he saw this as divine reboot. For a veteran with thousands of matches, the mission was both nerve bait and pure adrenaline. He smirked. Alright, let's play. The system chimed happily. Wishing him luck, he coolly demanded coordinates before grinding. No reply came. He snorted, deciding to scout solo. After a few steps, he realized the place looked like an abandoned dungeon, rotting battlefield, reeking of decay, ruins of a collapsed underground city. And if an energy parasite lurked here, this had to be the Apocalypse Abyss dungeon, a legendary map infamous for its brutal difficulty. It had devoured thousands of daredevil players. This zone was once a high-tech subterranean fortress of post-apocalyptic humanity. Burned down after the mutant Neohuman war, the survivors fled the underground, leaving the ruins for mutants to infest. Fangoo stood in the smoldering dark, brooding over the grim history of this world. High-level energy parasites guarded the abyss entrance known as City of Vital Fire or Silent City. Named spooky enough to make a man write his will. That's why the monsters here are insanely strong. Players call this zone hell for the overbrave. Those who reached it can be counted on one hand. Most exploded before the gate. Based on old experience, Fangoo knew monster density here was thicker than mosquitoes in monsoon season. One misstep equals eternal disconnect. Caution is the only meta. He once farmed here with divine gear, every swing detonating dungeons. Now is just a rookie zombie. No pride. One trip and it's instant black screen. Creeping forward, a ghastly dog howl behind him froze his spine gray. Turning around, he met two blazing red eyes staring straight into his soul. The creature gaped its jaw of knives, drool dripping like it was prepping for a fresh meat buffet. Fangoo stiffened. Blocked path meant one option: fight till delete. Just as he prepped a skill, a pair of pitch-black legs slid from the shadow's heart. Meet jump scare. A long-haired creature with chest weights for days appeared, disturbingly monstrous and oddly awkward. It was a level 55 energy parasite, infamous for pulping foes with tentacles. Dozen fleshy whips lashed around, the sound alone enough to give migraines. Before he could count, the monster charged like a living tornado with thunder applause. And it wasn't alone. A lurking ambush parasite burst from underground, fighting for zombie rights to dine first. Seeing the beast clash, Fangoo hid in a corner, enjoying this free deathmatch show, admiring how modern they even knew about territory wars. Back then, monsters were just walking code. Now they've gone full drama mode. This evolution clearly outgrew the game. These things felt alive. Conscious, he gulped, thinking, guess that big chest. Small brain jokes dead. This one's big and deadly. The two beasts collided, sparks flying. As expected, the ambush parasite got smashed like a beanbag. The energy parasite roared, flexing triumphantly like it won muscle idol. But mid-celebration, a tiny rock shot out and nailed it square in the chest, right in the ego. The culprit Fangoo, stone-faced after the throw, teasing, "Catch me if you can, lady tentacles." That taunt triggered a meltdown. She screamed like a nuke about to blow. Before the echo died, Fangoo zipped off on a mini bike, leaving the tentacle queen raging behind. His plan: outrun her. Reality: she stuck like superglue. 5 minutes and still tailing. Tentacles grazed his back, almost giving him a zombie buzzcut. He dodged while steering in panic. Then her giant foot hit a glowing mark on the ground, a trap trigger. Fangoo smirked, proud. Didn't trust my map. Enjoy the drop. Sizz. The ground caved in with a roar, swallowing the monster whole. His face shone like a jackpot winner. But this wasteland never truly rests. He could smell death even through silence. Fangoo Valley house toxic hive worms digging tunnels. One misstep and you're on their doorstep. They're weak, but so many it makes your fight or flight button jam. Their venom slows victims to snail pace. The longer the fight, the faster you die. Those who can't one-shot get drained like low batteries in demon mode. Fangoo simply watched the tentacle queen get swarmed, screaming herself hoarse in vain. Fangoo smirked smugly, saying his good luck let him outrun the other corpses. Still, he knew energy parasites were tankier. That trap was just a back scratch. Sure enough, she went full Buffett mode, devouring the hive like lunch special. Fangoo calculated even if she lived, her happy bar would be halved, so he just spectated from the pit. Sharp claws emerged. The boss was back on stage. He smiled. The debuff worked. Perfect time to strike. Next move, lock the gate and release the hound. Chaotic but fun. A whistle rang, and a stray dog shot out like a furry bullet. It dashed toward him so fast people would only gasp. Whoa! Fangoo caught it midair, smooth as if born for the move. He mounted the dog, wielding a bench like a holy relic. Man and dog united. The bench slammed into the monster's face with a glorious whuck. That blow dropped her pay faster than stocks on Black Friday. He sneered coldly, declaring game over like a champ. With the final strike done, he vaulted off the dog, soaring like a midnight firework. Midair, he spun and delivered a critical headshot to end the show in style. She vaporized into mist. The quest wrapped up like a perfect thesis defense. Fangoo patted the dog's head, grinning. From now on, we're four-legged brothers in arms. In this game, zombie plus zombie dog was the undead pet combo supreme. On day one, had been chased by corpse pups like a debtor cornered by villagers. Now he was both zombie and pack leader, a bizarre but badass duo. He tapped its wet nose gently, a sweet gesture of Deadman's camaraderie, hugging the dog tight. He thought had have been deleted long ago without it. Suddenly, white light engulfed everything. The world froze like someone hit pause. In a blink, he jumped from level 1 to 10. Muscles buffed like post-protein shake glory, buzzing with power. He tested moves, muttering, leveling up this fast feels sus. What's with this mental transformation skill? The system left him on read, only marking quest complete, ghosting harder than an X. Fangoo glanced at the rewards like checking an electric bill. Zero emotion. A second later, his face froze. The prize hit harder than caffeine. His heart almost escaped. 2,000 gold coins, enough to save his dad and fund his dreams, but that build a baseline made him sigh. Wait, side quest 2. The system popped up like an eavesdropping assistant. Hidden reward activated for next phase. Before he could react, light swallowed him whole, bright as a camera flash before hair combing. Man and dog vanished instantly, not even time to shout. Lag again. When he opened his eyes, the scenery was alien, sky distant, ground misplaced, like a wrong map teleport. He looked around warily, ready for some NPC to sell him insurance bundles, but one heartbeat later, he froze as if smacked by a hammer. No way, this is City of Hope, for real. The game's lore was so detailed you could smell the tragedy in its dust. This city was the gem amid ashes. According to lore, it was erased post-apocalypse, turned myth, then reclaimed by monsters as a hell-tier dungeon where players wept. Fangoo walked muttering, so the government didn't lie? But if it's in the abyss, how come I never found it? The system, smug as ever, declared the new quest turned City of Hope into an immortal fortress with buildings, materials, and 50 shades of complicated mechanics. It dangled a supreme hidden reward inside the city. Fangoo just stared coldly at the mission panel. He stood frozen for a few seconds, then signaled his dog to lead the way through the thick mist. As he walked, he grumbled, this system must have graduated top of its class in tech scams. But a few steps later, he stopped. His heart skipped a beat at the sight ahead, a girl trapped in a giant glass tube, beautiful and fragile like a lotus blooming in hell. He grimaced. What now? Bonus girlfriend in a jar? Is this turning into a dating sim? Shameless system, he muttered. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to Saiou's apartment in the real world. She had just showered, pure and soft as morning mist. Drops of water clung to her skin. Her breath carried the chill of dawn. She pushed open the door and entered a familiar room where memories slept. Lying on a bed soft as clouds, she let her body melt into peace. As she dried her hair, her eyes glimmered with quiet ease. Then her gaze caught a photo frame where time seemed frozen still. Beside it sat a silent game console, stirring a pang of longing in her chest. After a moment's daze, she put on the headset, ready to dive into another world. In a blink, she arrived in New Eden, a virtual city bursting with life. She blended into the bustling crowd, each step a walk through memory. Then she halted mid-street, eyes fixed on a familiar corner, a small eatery, warm, comforting, like an old scar that still glowed. Her eyes shimmered with sorrow and nostalgia. If only Fangoo were still here. Memories flooded back, their group laughing, feasting, while Fangoo always snagged the first bite. Even knowing it was just data, she still wanted to taste that lost flavor. Just then, the system pinged with a brand new alert, authentic culinary experience. It rid. Her smile faded as her gaze darkened. Deep underground, Fangoo smirked before a wall of screens. Experience. Nah, I'm just trolling her. Of their 4 old comrades, only one remained. Saiou, a food-loving, innocent girl who forgot caution at the sight of a snack-perfect bait. And why Fangoo needed that trap? We rewind 10 minutes to uncover his grand scheme. Upon seeing the girl in the tube, Fangoo asked the system, what kind of reward is this? Any user manual? The system replied coolly, that bodies just display stock, it needs another player's soul to operate. Fangoo exploded, it'll get dirty for gold, but not by hurting someone else. What if they get stuck mid-quest? The system, cold as ice, relaxed, their real bodies fine. just a soul-tripping game. Realizing it all reset after mission clear, Fangoo sighed in relief. At least this bot's got a sliver of morality. The system chuckled wickedly. Not so fast if both players reach maturity level. Imagination hit him and her building a resistance army, ruling the apocalypse's nose almost blood rivers. A few seconds later, he slapped himself. Stop it, or this turns into love among the undead real quick. Back to now, he sat staring at his monitors, plotting how to lure Saiou in without suspicion. Food bait's hopeless. But before he could even speak, she agreed instantly, zero hesitation. He gawked. Huh, that easy. Food really is her religion. At that moment, the girl in the glass tube began to tremble. As if awakening, the glass door creaked open, dry and eerie like a coffin lid of the future. She stepped out, body dripping, mist curling around her like a ghost bride. Saiou had officially become a zombie girl. Marveling. This new update's crazy realistic. From afar, Fangoo cleared his throat solemnly. Welcome, player Saiou, to the mutant lands. Her eyes narrowed, suspicion flaring. So it's you, the little mutant brat. No more words, she charged like a storm, catching him off guard. As her claws sliced through the air, Fangoo barely dodged, almost taking the opening hit. But she didn't stop. Strike after strike forced him to dance defensively. She was fast, but he was faster. He flipped like a circus pro, stunning her for a beat. He landed softly, heroic pose worthy of an action movie poster. Saiou gaped, torn between anger and admiration, refusing to lose. She snarled and lunged again, fury blazing like a doomsday cyclone. Her claws swept like hurricane blades, each swing fueled by wrath and chaos. Fangoo, cornered, went all in, revealing a hand sprouting sharp spikes. In a blink, his small palm morphed into a lethal weapon. He bit his lip, eyes icy, left arm twisting into a massive shield. Her strike crashed into it, the clash booming like thunder. The recoil hurled Saiou through the air, spinning like a storm-tossed leaf. The system quipped cheekily. Skill-activated conceptual morphing. Pretty neat. Huh, he instantly thought, if I can morph into a shield, why not into a weapon? With that thought, he surged forward like a razor wind. His arm transformed into a gleaming blade, cold light dancing on its edge. Aiming at Saiou, he said lowly, look at what you've become. As told, she glanced at a nearby reflective panel. Her eyes widened, staring back herself in full zombie glory. Seeing her shock, Fangoo smirked. Congrats, Saiou, you're officially one of us. She turned to him, eyes a mix of wonder and doubt. He declared calmly, this is City of Hope, my base and you, the first member of the Mutant Legion. He lectured about rules, even spun tragic tales of mutant genocide to help her get into character. When he mentioned free food and lodging, Saiou was sold, more immersed than a drama actress. The system chimed in, mission complete, lure a player into the mutant faction. Reward 2,000 gold, and a few surprise bonuses beyond imagination. First item, a maid uniform. Next, a watery bunny suit. Cute yet mortifying. Fangoo wanted to smash his head on the wall. Instead of weapons, I get cosplay gear, but fine for mutant kind. Ill suffer, he said sternly, handing the outfit to her. Equipment is power, this is your starter set. His tone was grand, like a hero knighting a new champion. Saiou beamed like a kid on New Year's, eyes sparkling as she hurried to try it. Watching her enthusiasm, Fangoo sighed, classic you loves gear more than life. Once equipped, the outfit shimmered faintly, energizing every cell in her body. Personal stat board skyrocketed, numbers flashing like a rave party. Fangkok nodded mysteriously. If has gone, this race's future rests on Madame Diu. The system ruined the mood again. Mission complete. 5 gold. Fangkok cursed like a tumbrapper. Meanwhile, Saiou secretly eyed him, thinking he was a hyperreal NPC, unaware he was a sly player in disguise. Before she could think further, her stomach drummed like battle drums, face switching to low battery mode. Seeing her about to faint, Fangkok panicked, flailing like a broken bot. He finally pulled out his specialty grilled tentacle skewers of alien origin, life-saving aroma included. The smell hit Saiou's eyes, sparkled like a fangirl's, while Fangkok smirked. Welcome to the team, rookie, feast time. She dove right in, snatching the skewers like stolen treasure. She ate at industrial vacuum speed, equal parts hilarious and terrifying. Fangkok folded his arms, sighing, eat like that, no hungry zombie dares come close. But she kept munching like food was enlightenment. After a while, she froze. Something felt wrong inside. Her chest swelled, skin shifted, aura swirling wildly, every muscle and bone upgraded like a creature getting new firmware. Fangkok gaped as the system chimed. Tentacle devourer skewer eaten evolution triggered. Saiou evolved from kitty zombie to teenage tentacle zombie, full Lovecraft edition unlocked. Staring at the sprouting tentacles, she screamed inwardly, is this cosplay or nightmare? Fangkok's brainspark, could zombies gain skills by eating alien stuff? The system coldly replied, correct, but for best effect kill and eat fresh. The process was slower than bad Wi-Fi. True evolution cost absurd time. Fangkok sighed, life lesson, nothing's ever free, even snacks. The system consoled him with a loot box and a shiny new quest. Starving yet thrilled, Fangkok equated quests with gold and gold with hope, seeing Saiou all pumped. He set off. A day later, they reached the edge between Thorn Forest and Silent City, where apocalypse itself was wheezing. Thorn Forest's south side crawled with mutated creatures, every branch had teeth and claws. Weak zombies avoided the center, so the border became a safe scavenging zone. Mild danger, Free leftovers. Fangoo and Saiou mingle with locals, but something was off. These zombies weren't the dumb mobs from old games. In BioWaste Gauntlet, zombies just herded, bits stuffed mindlessly, then scattered like autumn leaves, but here they planned, organized an underground zombie society with actual discipline. Teams had hunters, ambushers, and loot division more precise than military logistics. Even the weak ones got daily rations so no one starved enough to nibble teammates. Strangest of all, they kidnapped only human women, claiming it was to raise baby zombies. Why only females? Fangoo frowned. Rumors said a female researcher once experimented on zombies. Maybe this was predator revenge in progress. While still guessing, Fangoo's food line shortened fast. His turn came before he could panic properly. He gulped down the nutrient drink, praying it wasn't dishwater with protein powder. System popped up. Nutrition extracted from human intelligence level 1. He blinked so the zombie's secret to smarts was eating real humans. Before he could digest that info, someone yanked his collar, almost choking him. A heightier female zombie glared. Voice icy. What are you doing? Fangoo's heart dropped to his shoes, but she simply said, you're in the wrong line. Male, stand over there. Relieved, he shuffled away, thinking, she must be upper management. Thank heaven she didn't skin me. As things calmed, metallic engines roared. The massive gate creaked open. A regal figure appeared, light gleaming off her giant beast mount. On that monster's back sat a stunning yet deadly woman, the zombie overlord herself. Her sullen entourage followed. Fangoo whispered to the system, why can I see their level bars? The system coolly replied, they're not from BioWaste Gauntlet, self-generated entities off-grid. He nodded. So these ladies were exclusive bosses, and probably terrifyingly strong. Strangely, glowing serial numbers flashed on each female zombie's chest. The system explained, correct, their origin traces back to genetic experiments in Hope City. When the Gene Lab was founded, its goal was to control biological mutations. They even dreamed of restoring mutated creatures to their original forms. But early tests failed miserably. The test zombies went berserk beyond logic. Scientists blamed it on missing special hormones in zombie bodies, so they turned to dissecting female zombies, launching cruel experiments. They even performed live surgeries without hesitation. Then they recklessly fused female zombies with alien mutants for observation. The result failed its purpose but accidentally produced a super serum. Those injected became virus immune and absurdly powerful. Humanity saw hope for comeback and picked elite warriors. These enhanced ones were called Neohumans, mankind's final faith. They hunted mutants to extract more serum for study. Their grand goal: erase monsters and rebuild humanity's paradise. But no one knew that the first test zombies were secretly evolving. Among them, Subject 500, a female corpse, awoke with terrifying memories. Her hatred mutated her genes uncontrollably. She led a zombie horde, breaching containment to escape. The research center descended into total chaos. Neohumans received emergency orders and rushed in, but against 500, every combat skill was useless. One soldier was struck down by her tentacles. The victim was captured alive before he could resist. Then 500 counterattacked, wiping out the squad with cold precision. She turned fully dark, leading the intelligent zombies to annihilate Hope City. As they retreated, Neohumans triggered self-destruction, blowing the city sky high. Since then, 500 vanished, and today's wandering mutants might be the fallout from that blast. Fangoo frowned. Heart heavy, he finally saw humanity's real darkness beneath its polished myths. Then he smirked, realizing zombies held terrifying potential and opportunity was calling his name. Suddenly, a cold voice from above yanked him out of his thoughts. He looked up to find a zombie Empress appearing out of nowhere. She squinted, smirking dangerously, clearly ready to eliminate the unknown object. But as her tentacles extended, another set blocked the attack. The Overlord froze, then barked a furious demand. Who dared stop her? That's when Saiou rushed forward, shielding Fangoo, sparking a faint sense of déjà vu in her foe. The Empress chuckled softly, intrigued by this tiny zombie showing rare strength. Glancing at Ying, she coldly praised her subordinate's fine training. Ying timidly explained that strange nutrients had boosted the kid's evolution speed. The Empress nodded, ordering a new survival training phase to begin. Fangoo blinked, mumbling what the heck was survival training. Someone nearby whispered it meant the young zombies must survive a full month in the Thorn Forest. He froze, recalling from game lore that place was a death trap. Ying nervously suggested giving the kids more skill practice first, but the Empress cut her off with an icy tone, making Ying bow and tremble in apology. She declared that with Neohumans returning, the mutant race must grow stronger. No excuses. Then her gaze lingered on a bound woman, eyes burning with deep hatred. Suddenly, beneath the ice layer, that woman's eyes flickered with strange light. At the same time elsewhere, Guiyan Kungji sensed a disturbance. Dr. Tan's sealed eyes had awakened. He cursed under his breath. His pawn, Dr. Tan, had gone completely rogue. Xiaxu Dianren smirked, saying zombies evolved fastest. It was time to investigate the bloodless garden. That remark made Guiyan Kungji erupt, roaring at him for mocking their alliance. Both drew weapons, killing intent. Crackling, Dianren answered with arrogant defiance. Meanwhile, Ada, a Neohuman, still hadn't unleashed his full genetic potential. Tension peaked until Iron Man suddenly shouted, forcing everyone to stop. He warned coldly, fail the main quest, and they'd all be erased from the game forever. Yishin Fangoo, leader of the human hunters, immediately agreed. His words froze the room. No one dared breathe. then Yaishen Fangoo declared their true goal: total conquest of this virtual world. Back at the zombie base, Fangoo noticed something strange in Dr. Tan's eyes beneath the ice. He guessed it was the vision-sharing skill of Goyi Yen, the leader, meaning she was a player too. Yet the zombie stayed cautious, always blindfolding captives to block intel leaks. He wondered how a player could even get pregnant in a game without that feature. Even stranger, she hadn't logged out despite the hopeless situation. Fangoo grinned slyly. This woman might be a priceless pawn. After the Empress departed, the young zombies, including Fangoo, were escorted to their new training grounds. Lying stood before the squad, declaring the start of survival training. She warned sharply only those obedient and cautious might return alive. The training ground was the brutal Thorn Forest, forcing every trainee to hunt for a month. Finally, Lying ordered never step into the forest's central zone. Inside, Fangoo split from Saiou, grumbling that no one taught survival before tossing them into Deathland. A strange voice agreed, revealing only one survivor from the last session. Fangoo frowned coldly, showing zero interest in chatting with strangers. The guy smirked, introducing himself as Libaba, a former martial artist turned zombie. Sharpied enough to sense their strength, he eagerly suggested forming a team. But Fangoo flatly refused. Too much baggage. He calculated more people meant less loot. And Saiou was headachy enough. Baba suddenly spoke up, clearly guessing Fangoo's concerns. Then he boasted, turning his body to stone and grinning proudly at his awakened ability. Fangoo considered it balanced the team's offense and defense nicely. He agreed. On one condition: all decisions go through him. The trio officially teamed up and entered the Thorn Forest. Bob, as non-stop chatter soon earned Fangoo's threat of silence. At Zone 1, 3 other zombies cornered 2 terrified girls, with Chahai leading confidently by the woods. Before he finished speaking, 2 huge tentacles lashed out and grabbed them. In a blink, the group was hoisted up by a massive mutant toad. Not far away, Fangoo's team watched quietly. He knew forest danger patterns from gaming days. In truth, predators usually hid right at the forest edge, but naive zombies assumed the border was the safest area. As expected, they became appetizers for hungry beasts. Zone 1 was a death trap. Zone 2, a monster did instant doom upon entry, yet Saiou foolishly stole snake eggs there. Result: the team sprinted for their lives from a furious serpent swarm. Reaching Zone 3, things calmed, fewer monsters around. That's because Zones 4 and 5 were ruled by king-tier beasts that scared off weaker ones. Those king-tier creatures all served the legendary being known as the Thorn King. Even Fangoo's original game version had never revealed this boss. Zone 3 was filled with low shrubs and small beasts barely surviving through cowardice. Their tiny forms proved how shrinking down was key to survival. After a day's rest, the trio decided to hunt weaklings for real combat practice. Bubba struck first, crushing a mutant rat with his stone power. Saiou quickly snagged a silver-scaled fish beast. Fangoo, not to be outdone, killed a spiky hedgehog mutant. Great start for the new team. After the kills, the system secretly rewarded Fangoo without a pop-up. When the system reset, the trio charged a hulking mutant ape. They unleashed combo skills, light flaring like fireworks. The ape roared in agony before collapsing like a falling mountain. Loot showered down gold and gear everywhere. The trio kept hunting non-stop until sunset faded into dusk. Night fell. They lit a campfire under a rotting tree, prepping a wild dinner. Bubba kept babbling, bragging that this tech was stolen from the Neohumans. Thanks to fighting and food buffs, Saiou evolved again, bigger body, weirder tentacles. No.33 also leveled up noticeably. Strength and speed skyrocketed. His muscles bulged, strikes now several times stronger. Fangoo felt molten energy boiling in his veins like rising lava. When his teammates slept in the cave, he quietly opened his status screen. After a while of check-in, he frowned in confusion. Strange, why were his levels and stats missing? The system instantly replied, those numbers exist only in virtual mode. Once a player fully syncs with reality, all data becomes hidden. Fangoo nodded, so his theory was right. This world was utterly real, with no level limits. Evolution now depended purely on skill and experience. Had tested the Thorn attribute before. It proved handy in close combat. But his 2 new powers, from the mutant ape and the humanoid mosquito, puzzled him. When he killed that mosquito, the system auto-granted him the elasticity trait. Humanoid mutants specialized in luring zombies to drain blood. Did that link to stretch attacks? While pondering, a new quest popped up: slay the mutant flame tiger before dawn. Fangoo groaned, another death trap, but chose to test his new powers anyway. Decision made, he dashed into the thick night. Prime hunting hour for beasts. Giant mutants now prowled the dark, hungry and restless. Luckily, Fangoo knew Thorn Forest map by heart, ghosting through shadows with ease. Ahead loomed a colossal monster, the flame tiger, now 10 times larger. One mistake meant death. Beneath the fiery night sky, he gaped. The creature's size defied belief, but he steadied himself. Nothing here was impossible anymore. The flame tiger had reached a new evolution stage, body ablaze in living fire. Its speed and strength surged. A predator at the top of the food chain, he remembered dodging it in past missions, never daring to fight head-on. This time, Fangoo struck first, launching a surprise blow. The attack did nothing. He instantly switched tactics. Its hide's tougher than steel, waste of punches, he muttered. So time to unleash the big one. He summoned fiery thorns, forming a blazing spear in the night. Pouring all power into it, he unleashed a blinding explosion. The tiger's roar echoed through the forest, the ground trembling like a quake. It countered, slashing fiery claws straight at him. Flames burst everywhere, scorching the air itself. Through the smoke, Fangoo spotted the first tear in its flesh finally. A hit! This fire thorn strike truly worked. The armor-like hide ripped apart in chunks, but the wound sealed instantly. Its regeneration was insane. The tiger turned, eyes blazing with pure killing intent, locked on Fangoo. Seeing fiery claws incoming, Fangoo hissed, terrifying. It can power up when wounded. Surprisingly, the tiger's swipe missed, freezing it for half a second. He dodged aside and shouted, "My turn now!" From his arm, elastic energy shot out like a blazing bullet. The flame tiger roared, trying to crush the strike with brute force, but the beam pierced straight through its body. Blood and fire exploded together. The system instantly spammed messages: flame tiger slain, reward gold. Loot box. New skill. Fangoo's account gained beast speech and conceptual shapeshift with flame and thorn traits. He stood still, watching the ashes glow, heat still rippling from the ground. A long exhale escaped. Hell's battle was finally over. Then the ground shook violently, thunder rumbling deep below. Heavy footsteps echoed, thickening the air. 3 more giant tigers emerged from the forest, aura blazing like a storm of fire. One of them, Diamond Tiger, glared and growled, "Tiny zombie, did you kill my brother?" Fangoo realized the noisy fight had summoned the entire tiger clan for revenge. Thunder Tiger shrieked madly, its roar splitting the night, dripping with fury and bloodlust. Diamond Tiger narrowed his eyes coldly, rasping, "Little Flame is dead. This debt will be paid in blood." But before they could strike, a rocket screamed from behind. It slammed into Diamond Tiger's back, setting half his body ablaze. He howled in agony. Ice Tiger roared, charging to save him. He won't die alone. But another rain of fire engulfed them both. Flames devoured the battlefield, turning it into a colossal barbecue pit. They roared hoarsely, cursing the heavens as they burned alive. Fangoo smirked at the sight, sighing mockingly, shame to waste such premium tiger meat. Taking advantage of the chaos, he punched the ground, detonating hidden magma veins. Pillars of molten rock erupted skyward, like volcanoes awakening. The blast fused into a massive wall of fire, hurling the tigers away. From between the rocks, searing light burst forth like divine blades, tearing the night apart. Energy from the earth surged upward, slamming into the beasts amid their dying roars. The tigers froze, panicked, blurting, "Well, what is that?" Fangoo spread his arms in the inferno, voice calm yet cruel. "Perfect fresh tiger for tonight's stew. 2 more cuts and the meal's complete." The system flashed a huge reward: 10,000 gold, the Tiger King's crown, and 3 basic loot boxes. New skill unlocked: conceptual shapeshift expanded with lightning, ice, and metal elements. Stats updated: 28,000 gold. 6 loot boxes. Shapeshift skill with full elements and special beast speech. A month later at Liu Ying's base, the air hung heavy with dread. A female zombie muttered nervously, "It's been a month, no one's come back." Tiny Bat groaned, "Told ya, those 2 brats probably became jungle snacks." A blurry memory of someone flashed across everyone's minds like lightning in mist. The woman sighed softly, convincing herself she must have been wrong about him. That night, as T-02 slept, her body suddenly tensed in primal instinct. She shot upright, face grim. "Something's coming from deep within the forest." Liu Ying instantly tensed. "Zombies." T-02 closed her eyes, sensing similar aura but absurdly strong. Not ordinary at all. That aura raged like countless beasts howling, drenching the base in silent terror. T-02 unleashed full power, scanning the deathly energy from the strange source. Tiny Bat stayed taut as a bowstring. She knew 02's radar senses never lied. But whatever made T-02 leap up at midnight was nature's prank. T-09 gasped, pointing toward the woods. "There! Something's crawling out." Everyone spun around, eyes wide, ready for disaster. Huge claws pounded the ground, echoing like war drums from the abyss. A horde of massive beasts advanced, their presence shaking the trees. T-09 raised his shield, yelling, "It's the Thorn-scaled dragons." All 7 rebelling. T-07 replied coldly, "No, they're moving like royal guards." Tiny Bat instantly spotted the odd pattern in their ranks. She declared, "They're escorting a new king." The beastly procession marched, each step crushing the world's spine. Leading them was none other than Fangoo, the once familiar face. Now a ruler. Tiny Bat's eyes widened, mind spinning. How did they overturn everything so fast? The once weakling had flipped the whole board upside down. She licked her lips, eyes gleaming. A terrifying seed, the kind that makes you want to test it. Everyone stood stunned. Within just a month, he had tamed even the feral dragon beasts. Tiny Bat narrowed her eyes, thrilled. Let's see how strong he's really gotten. Babbitt gawked, clueless why his own overlords suddenly charged their big bro. Blood surging. He jumped in, thinking, time to see if a month's grind paid off. His punch crystallized into glowing stone, shooting like a meteor. Tiny Bat blurred aside in fiery afterimage, smirking. Not bad, finally fighting for real. But her compliment was followed by a brutal counter. One palm slammed into Babaz's back faster than a blink. The impact drove him straight into the earth, leaving a crater like a meteor strike. Baba lay flattened, gasping, body screaming in pain. The air tightened. Another fighter was about to join. Saiou darted in like lightning, striking at Tiny Bat. The latter tilted her head, blocking casually, lips curling, stronger, but still green. Saiou snarled, fury blazing. "Touch my people, you're dead." Her tentacles lashed out, firing razor-sharp energy like a storm of blades. Tiny Bat calmly folded her wings. Fiery armor cloaked her body like an unbreakable fortress. Saiou froze, disbelief in her eyes. Her strikes were useless, like mosquito bites on steel. She tried every move, even bit once out of spite, but that armor stayed unmoved. Tiny Bat seized the opening, wings flaring, eyes glowing bloodered like a demon. Staring at Devar, she fully transformed, body twisted cold, claws lengthened. Her voice echoed like a vengeful spirit. What a pity. A hypnotic sound rolled out with mocking words. You fight without a shred of strategy. The future may be strong, but for now sleep tight, little love fool. Then to you drops like a drained doll. Xiaobu casually lifts her up, walks to Fangoo, and says softly, been waiting long. Kid, relax. I just lulled them to sleep, didn't even use real power. Now that the audience is out cold, we can go all out. Fangoo replies sharply, eyes blazing. Go wild, no holding back. She grins like a cat with a trapped mouse. Then how about we change the stage? He says nothing, leaps after her. Your call. They turn into streaks of light colliding in the dark. Observers see only blur, knowing the real game has begun. In the sky they clash hundreds of times, move for move, storm for storm, neither yielding an inch. The duel stays perfectly balanced, each strike making heaven and earth roar. Then both land, power surging, signaling a true death match about to start. Xiaobu breaks the silence, licking her lips. That's enough warm-up, now let's get serious. With that, she turns demonic, unlocking the Hell Seal. The sky turns crimson, space itself dragged into a fiery abyss. Her form swells, unleashing Dark Knight force, diving down like a fallen angel to slash her foe. The ground erupts, energy rebounds skyward, shaking the world. Xiaobu laughs arrogantly. You're good but defy me, and it'll crush you till you remember it forever. But her grin freezes as her eyes mirror the impossible. Well, what is that? Fangoo raises one finger, blocking her giant fist calmly. You're mistaken. Then he counters, energy bursting, voice echoing. Am not anyone's toy to be trained. Xiaobu is flung away like a dry leaf, totally losing control. Fangoo stands firm, voice heavy as metal. Listen well, power surges around him, pillars of light twining like living storms. My extreme dragon technique isn't for threats, it proves I lead, not follow. He raises his hand, voice booming. Behold my Dragon King armor. This is the fruit of a month's relentless training. A dragon's roar explodes, wind and thunder swallowing Xiaobu into a storm's core. She screams in despair, body crushed by the vortex. No way actually lost, power piercing every inch of her. Xiaobu trembles before the boy, terrified. What even is he? She freezes, realizing his power resembles that of the legendary Thorn Titan. Fangoo speaks like a judge. You lost fair and square, maybe strong someday, but now, you'll stand beneath me. Xiaobu chokes in fury. I just slipped. Don't think one win makes you great. Fangoo chuckles coldly. I only used a fraction of my strength and your energy's running dry. Soon you'll fade. Exposed. She pales. Impossible. How do you know? She shrinks, trembling. You can read my energy structure. System flashes data. Fangoo. Gold 350,000 skills Thoughtiform. Beast communication elements fire. Thunder. Ice. Metal skills Thorn King authority. Dragon force can command forest beasts. Fangoo lifts her like a toy, smiling. Why bother knowing? Cute girl. In her mind only one scream remains. Is this a demon in human skin? A memory flickers. Ling Ling smiling gently, hand on his head. Everyone's counting on you. Stay alive. Okay. At that moment, Xiaobu bursts into tears. Sister Ling Ling, you can't go. How can I bear this alone? But Ling Ling only turns away, leaving words carved in her heart. From now on, you are the lord of this land. Remembering it, she sighs after years protecting her clan. Maybe meeting this man means real hope has arrived. She kneels and bows. Please, my lord, lead us. The system chimes triumphantly. Fangoo becomes the new zombie lord, gains 10,000 gold, and command over 7 warlords. Fangoo gently pats her head, voice softening. Don't worry, I won't let any of you be left behind. Xiaobu curiously asks, so, my lord, how did you dare challenge the giant thorn dragon and win? He frowns, thinking, was it that damn system's trap? After that Fox incident, it buffed me and threw in a bunch of mystery boxes. Back then, the status board showed 28,000 gold, 6 Master Your Blind boxes, and 1 an open special skill. The ability Mindform Shift came with Thorn, Enlarge, Rebound, Fire, Lightning, Ice, Metal traits, plus Beast Speech. Then the system coldly announced, hidden mission active in 24 hours, slay the giant thorn dragon. A flashing red line, failure account deletion. Fangoo nearly smashes device. Just say you want me dead. Damn system. But right after, a supinal appeared, clone card active for 2 hours. Power 80 of user. Full control. He recounts, half irritated, half amused. So I opened 6 blind boxes at once in jackpot. All clone cards. If it were the old me, facing the dragon solo, it'd be nothing but its appetizer. Now he commands 7 sense bodies, a squad of superpowered versions of himself. The 6 clones move in perfect rhythm with him, seamless like they've trained for millennia. Watching the monsters get wiped out, Fangoo laughs madly. Only I can handle myself. As the giant dragon weakens, Tu Yu joins in, unleashing all firepower for the kill. But just as victory nears, clones vanish as time expires, leaving him alone mid-battle. Baba charges out shouting, "Boss, let me help you." Fangoo instantly fuses, linking his arm with Baz's stone body. He smiles lightly. This kid's grown strong in just a day. The giant duo combines stone hammer and dragon energy, merging into a cataclysmic strike. The blow makes the monster explode into fragments, dying with a final roar. Baba separates, body crumbling but eyes blazing with pride. The system announces reward 70,000 gold. Total 350,000 new skills gained: Thorn King Authority and Dragon Force. Fangoo commands firmly, "The Thorn Forest crown stays yours, but fight beside me until new humanity falls." The beast bows, "Yes, my king." He smirks, "Guess I'm friends with the giants now." While thinking, "No way I'm telling them about the system," scene shifts slowly. Lazily tells Saiou, who's eating like a storm, "Chill, no one's stealing your food." Yeah. Lao Li. Suddenly, a wave of killing intent. Someone with a gun appears behind them. Gunshot cracks. Fang Ying fires, aiming to finish Lao Li. Saiou panics, screaming, "Help, it's the new human race." At once, an army drops from the void. They surround the area, raining bullets and powers upon the zombie lair. The three female warriors pause, glancing at the corpses. Pathetic, couldn't take a single hit. But watch out, rumor says some mutant zombies here are still awake. This time, we're hunting a traitor. From the shadows, a hand the size of a house suddenly grabs two of them. One screams, "I'm starving." Fang Ying freezes. "Holy crap, what kind of giant is that?" Saiou flaps proudly, surprised. Our Lao Wang can enlarge himself. "Crush them, Lo Wang." Lo Wang roars and crushes his prey to dust. Saiou cheers. "There's one left." Lo Wang rasps, "I'm still hungry." But Fang Ying moves lightning fast, slipping from his claws by an inch. In her mind, she calculates steel bullets don't even scratch this giant freak. No choice but to use my Newman ability. Lo Wang roars and charges while Fang Ying darts like a ghost, leaving him grasping air. "Stand still." She spins midair, unleashing Gale's shadow shield, wrapping the giant in a violent storm. Lo Wang staggers, nearly toppling under the vortex force. Elsewhere, Tan hangs upside down, blindfolded, trembling. "Whoa, who's there?" Fang Ying appears coldly, making Tan light up with hope and beg for help, but she coolly declares Shi's order to wipe the base and kill Jacko, leaving Tan pleading for delay. Too late, the shot's already fired. Suddenly, her gun hand falls off. A cold slash echoes with a scream of pain. Fangoo rides a beast, thrilled to stumble into live combat right after returning. Baba storms in like a raging tempest. Fangoo taunts the foe to use full power before it's too late. Fang Ying gapes that zombies can talk, yet still trusts her skill. She slips up and takes a full punch, body reeling. Fangoo lectures mid-fight, one mistake means death. The hellhound beside him rips bodies apart, the sound chilling to the bone. Baba coldly suggests turning the hostage into a snack. Fangoo stops him, ordering him to hunt the remaining mutants instead. The chains binding Tan are removed. She escapes but trembles, barely standing. Tears and despair mix as she begs to be killed. Fangoo sneers, saying death's just a player reset. Tan panics. He knows the player's secret. He calmly questions her about this world's reality. She reveals their players trapped in the game die here. Die for real. Fangoo realizes his trap too, but outwardly jokes, asking about her pregnancy. She breaks down, blaming the traitor. She explains she was a biology grad student whose thesis was rejected. She buried herself in research day and night. Whenever despair hit, she escaped to the game BioIsland. In-game, she met someone named Saiou, a loyal companion. As time passed, virtual affection turned real. They became lovers online. One day, Saiou invited her to a real experience, unaware it was a one-way trip to hell. At first, she was lost in the dream of love, then truly loved him in reality. He brought her into the Neohuman Alliance to develop evolution serums. Unexpectedly, the in-game tech far surpassed real science. Her experiments began yielding dazzling results. Then she found he betrayed her and she was carrying the bastard's child. That scum set her up, throwing her to the mutants to erase her. He even planned to turn her into a vessel for Demon Eye, but failed, so he ordered her execution instead. For her, death back then might have been the only gift left. Fangus' cold voice sparks her will. Want to give up or make him pay? She answers without hesitation. Revenge. At that moment, deep in the Thorn Forest, everything begins to shift. Fangoo announces the lair's exposure. The Neohumans have awakened terrifying powers. He points toward the Gate of Hope, outlining plans to build a new fortress for their kind. The followers roar in unison, their cries shaking the air. He assigns Xiao Bu to oversee base construction. She salutes and accepts. Suddenly, the beast Wang Zi charges in like a storm. It leaps on the girl, joyfully washing its master's face with slobber. Fangoo laughs, half joking, half serious. Asking about her previous mission, Wang Zi replies with a bright gaze and a howl echoing through the mountains. A horde of zombie dogs marches in from afar, like a triumphant army. Fangoo praises them, impressed by the top-tier pet training. With this dog force, the city now has reliable sentinels. After a day that feels like a lifetime, he finally lies down to rest, but the system coldly warns the base lacks an energy core, and only cyborgs can retrieve one. A new quest appears: go to the mechanical ruins and awaken the half-cyber beings. Fangoo groans, barely rests and already forced to grind again. Muttering he's never heard of half-mechanical anything, The system calmly explains its normal game data is too limited for him to know. It assures him a new body is ready in the incubation pod. Once he finds a compatible player, that body will become a powerful ally. Fangoo muses the easiest to trick has already been tricked. Now he racks his brain over who to con next. Suddenly, Tuyu's faint silhouette appears like a ghost. He jumps. Shocked, he thought everyone had gone to rest. She rubs her belly, whispering softly that she's hungry, then she pouts sweetly, asking him for food. Fangoo freezes, face twisting at her bizarre tone. Tuyu blushes, mumbling it again, making things even more awkward. He, confused, asks how she knows his true identity. Suspicion rising inside, she points above his head, replying simply, "Because of that." Fangoo looks up and nearly falls over seeing the tag Zenfam, high-class zombie base leader floating above him. The system pops up, explaining team members can see each other's real names. Once linked in a squad, Druids display automatically no hiding allowed. Fangoo fumes, wanting to strangle the system for not mentioning this earlier. He takes a deep breath, realizing he must now be extremely cautious about who he invites. Faces of female comrades flash in his mind, those who fought in blood with him. Only a few earn enough trust for a link, and Tuyu is the first chosen. Now just 3 names remain: Sister Jiang, Sister Tu, and Little Vu Ding. He turns to Tuyu, listing the 3 next candidates. She swallows the last bite and answers dead serious with a line that shuts him up: "Just add more meat." Fangoo can only grin helplessly, sighing that picking people is harder than any quest and that the half-cyber tech is truly up. He recalls Tutu's background, a family deeply invested in robotics. She's the sole heiress of that massive conglomerate. After taking charge, Sister Tutu poured her soul into fusing with biotech to create living cell androids. But the project hit a wall, threatening to sink her entire corporation. Inviting her into the game could both break that tech barrier and save her career. At that time, Tutu was still sound asleep in her quiet room. The system chime jolted her awake, grumbling at the rude interruption. She sighed, too busy with work these days to even touch games anymore. When the game interface appeared, nostalgia for the days fighting beside Saiou surged back. She opened her in-game mailbox to check a strange message. After reading it, she gasped aloud. The invitation was a plea from Saiou, promising a rare hidden profession half-robot specialist. Only one person ever called her by the nickname Boss Zio. Making her heartbeat race, it had to be him. Without hesitation, she hit accept. Instantly, her body was engulfed by swirling energy, transforming from within. Her blonde hair turned dark violet, shimmering with otherworldly light. The system declared, "Zhao Tutu has officially joined the team." Then began the mind link process. When the light faded, she became half-human, half-machine, reborn with a new form. Looking around, she marveled at how real the game felt, almost indistinguishable from life. Seeing her mechanical arms, she froze, realizing she was now a cyborg, and worried for Saiou. A moment later, Fangoo appeared before her, welcoming Boss Zhou back to the ranks. Tutu stepped back warily, realizing she was surrounded by zombies. She tensed up, suspecting Saiou had turned. Fangoo chuckled awkwardly, admitting half-jokingly that she wasn't entirely wrong. Tutu ignored his words, refusing to believe. Ready to fight, she shouted for him to surrender Saiou or be destroyed, then unleashed a thunderous punch toward him, but Fangoo calmly raised his hand. The glowing ring blocked the blow effortlessly, refusing to yield. Tutu activated celestial energy, preparing a full-power counterattack, but before she could strike, a tentacle shot from behind, binding her tight. Her limbs locked up, she struggled helplessly. Tuyu pulled her close, gently assuring her, revealing her own true identity and urging her to look closely. Tutu froze when she saw the name Saiou floating above the zombie's head. After confirming, she was released, gradually calming as Tuyu explained everything. Reintegrated, she booted up her mechanical memory to access mission data. She led the group to a secret elevator hidden deep beneath Hope City. Below lay the vault containing the energy cores and sealed cyborg bodies. The lift plunged downward, heat soaring to unbearable levels. Fangoo instantly spread his wings to shield the team from the scorching air. They huddled beneath the wings, forming a heat-proof sphere. He held the 2 girls close, grumbling as the temperature kept rising until the elevator finally stopped. When the wings unfolded, they all stepped out from Fangoo's protection, but suddenly, seawater burst in like a shattered dam. Fangoo was stunned to realize the mission's coordinates were under the ocean floor. With no retreat, they dove down, and he handed command to Tutu. She simply nodded, eyes firm with resolve. They swam deeper into the dark, the light fading, leaving only cold blue surrounding them. But in the darkness, something was watching them. Fangoo instantly recognized the familiar silhouette of merfolk. He suspected they might be grotesque mutations. Legend said merfolk were half-human, half-ish beings impossible to tell good from evil. At first, they seemed friendly, circling as if greeting honored guests, but in a blink, their smiles vanished, replaced by bloodthirsty eyes. One lunged, claws slicing through water straight at Fangoo. He countered with lightning speed, wiping out the shoal, joking that he was glad he'd read the guide or he might have mistaken them for mermaids. Looking around, the group was surrounded on all sides. He inhaled sharply, gritted his teeth, and ordered the fight to begin. Tutu unleashed her mechanical arts, arms turned into gleaming blades, fighting as fiercely as the zombie leader himself. 2U battled like a dance, tentacles whipping gracefully yet deadly, shattering foes like roasted beans. Then suddenly, the monsters froze as if sensing a far greater danger. Fangoo signaled silence, motioning them to hide, for something enormous was approaching, a monstrous form emerging from the gloom. Before anyone could react, a mutant shark was snatched by a massive tentacle. From the abyss, two blooded eyes flared. The mutant Leviathan octopus had awakened. Next to this beast, the shark looked like a pitiful appetizer. The octopus sucked hard, the water swirling, dragging the entire team toward its gullet. They screamed in panic as they were swallowed into the depths. After a dizzy blur, Saiou awoke first. Dazed by the strange surroundings, Fangoo examined carefully and concluded they were inside the monster's organs, right at the mission target. Around them loomed colossal mechanical systems. Saiou realized this was where the energy core and ancient cyborgs were stored. Fangoo was stunned that the phantom ruins lay inside a creature's belly, while Saiou quickly theorized. She guessed humans once sealed the base underwater, only for the Emperor Squid to swallow it whole. That's why the energy core's coordinates drifted constantly with its movements. They ventured deeper into the strange biological landscape. Fangoo halted, uneasy at the sight ahead. Before them lay countless giant mechanical bodies, scattered like a Titan graveyard. Saiou scanned the data, identifying them as the female Titan Corps, the elite combat force of the old age. But drained of energy, they'd fallen into an endless hibernation. Fangoo grew uneasy, suggesting they leave before something bad happened. He shivered, feeling hundreds of unseen eyes watching, as if those slumbering warriors still held consciousness in the dark. Reaching the energy core chamber, Fangoo asked which way next. Saiou warned the terrain had shifted. Old maps no longer matched. The whole place might have mutated. Fangoo nodded, agreeing it made sense since the structure had fused with the living beast. Saiou planned to split up for faster searching. She instructed if anything went wrong, regroup immediately and signal for aid via the team board. Fangoo agreed, entering a shadowy corridor. After only a few steps, his body tense, instinct screaming danger, a twisted figure emerged before him, the mythical wraith of the phantom ruins itself. Without thinking, Fangoo leapt high, snapping a command, ready to counter the ambush. The eerie being spoke coldly, surprised that a zombie could still evolve after the ancient cataclysm. It sneers, calling him trash and planning to feed him to the Titan Squid as dessert. Just then, the system pops up a delayed reward, 20,000 gold, the skill-piercing combo strike, and a rare item blind box. Sai. With it comes a new quest: subdue the mecha leader known as Drur. Cyborg, Fangoo, now a full-blown powerhouse player, holds over 370,000 gold. Shapeshift freedom, and one very suspicious mystery box, has about to switch to melee mode when the ground quakes. The true final boss rises straight from hell. Meanwhile, Saiou somehow tumbles into the water again. As she resurfaces, she freezes at the sight before her. A whole swarm of mutant fish charges like a living tsunami. Before she can react, they've completely surrounded her. Her empty stomach growls loudly in protest. Instead of fear, she just grabs a fish, lights a fire, and starts grilling right in the middle of the monster pack. Recalling Xiaocock's advice to return only in real danger, she cheerfully thinks, fish for breakfast isn't danger, it's fortune. Stuffed and satisfied, she stretches contentedly, ready to move on. The mutant fish tremble at the sight. Forgetting they were supposed to be terrifying, one panics and darts off to alert the leader. As Saiou snacks on the leftovers, the sea around her suddenly boils. A colossal sea monster with eyes like burning coals surges toward her. She doesn't flinch, just eyes the plump creature like a buffet item. The beast hesitates mid-charge, realizing it picked the wrong target. Meanwhile, Saiou continues her silent exploration through the ruins. The signal grows clearer. She's close to the central control room. But as she steps forward, her foot triggers a hidden mechanism. Laser grids rain down, blocking her path like a web of death. She instantly recognizes it as a deadly interference energy net. Without hesitation, Saiou activates her divide form skill, splitting in agile mechanical segments. Each part glides through the laser gaps gracefully like Ballet in a death trap. Safely across, she reassembles in one seamless motion. Looking at herself, even she can't help laughing in admiration. If this tech existed in reality, she muses, my company would explode in profits. But before she can daydream further, she focuses on decoding the door ahead. As it opens, she confirms it's the target laboratory. With a snap, a mechanical US flicks out from her fingertip. She plugs it into the central port, activating Cyborg Legion mode, beginning system control. Cold mist from the test tubes fills the room, thick and storm-like. A presence stirs, something awakening in response to her signal. The alarm blares, unknown intruder detected. Eliminate immediately. Saiou freezes, realizing she's been flagged as the enemy and has no idea why. A sudden attack strikes. A metal fist aims straight at her. She dodges, mind racing. Why is an ally attacking? The machine fires relentlessly, treating her as a hostile target. She deduces its core mind has been hacked or corrupted. With no time to analyze, she activates her wrist controller. An energy barrier flares up, blocking the storm of bullets. The core crystal inside her surges, radiating immense power. Output doubles in an instant, leaving her utterly stunned. The machine switches tactics, closing in its arm, morphing into a massive cannon. She activates the Super Yishun to predict the next attack direction. The first step of the plan: disable the enemy weapon, next paralyze him completely. Even as it shuts down, The machine keeps chanting destruction orders like a lunatic. Tutu calmly waits for her counterstrike moment. Next phase, reboot his entire control system. She pulls out the processor, finding it filled with force command codes. After cleaning the malware, she presses the new start button. The machine's eyes turn blue, signaling rebirth. He wakes up, confused why he's no longer in the cold chamber. She explains the destruction program was removed and asks him to recall the past. He eyes her curiously. Realizing she's from an ancient mech line, she just smiles. He gathers his memories and starts recounting the age of origin. Guanga, a mechanical genius, began that grand project. He created cyborgs to help build and run nuclear energy systems. Later generations evolved into an army protecting the entire city. But a major incident got the whole legion exiled from Hope City, because humans feared the tech might fall into the hands of intelligent zombies. Ironically, the finest technology was locked inside the earliest mech bodies. All breakthrough experiments had been tested on those pioneer prototypes. In short, they were the distilled essence of supreme technology. Sadly, after the chaos, that primal mech generation vanished without a trace. As for the killing program, it was likely a defense system Guanga himself installed. Bitterly ironic, their creator also became their jailer with soulless command codes. Hearing this, Tutu vows to find the doctor and expose the truth, but the cyborg blocks her, asking where she's heading in this mad world. She freezes mid-step. The cold corridor reflects her lone shadow. A squad of cyborgs appears, guns raised, ordering ruthless extermination. Tutu steadies herself, realizing all the exiled troops share one control program. Suddenly, a giant iron fist slams from behind, shaking the metal floor. Titan warrior grabs the small cyborg, crushing him like a plastic toy. Even restrained, the bot keeps muttering destruction orders like a sleepwalker. Tutu is stunned by the familiar face before her. It's the long-lost Titan female legion once thought extinct. The Titan leader solemnly declares they've come to meet the first-gen mech leader. She's baffled, blurting, "Me." The warrior calmly says the entire Titan unit was built around her. 9 warriors obey only the first-gen mech, only she can awaken them. Tutu smirks, asks their mission, and hears, not just protect but follow. She instantly thinks of a task. Elsewhere, Fangoo is still fighting madly amid the grotesque rain of flesh. Massive tentacles sweep wildly, trying to tear the sky apart. He roars in rage, annoyed his foe's arms are way too long. Those tentacles block every strike he throws, and coat him in full slime that kills all appetite instantly. Meanwhile, Saiou leisurely grills a monster fish in the distant waters. Full and happy, she pats her belly, smiling like after a fancy feast. Meal done, she dives toward where her friends are fighting. The water pipes lead her into a strange bioluminescent ecosystem. Looking around, she realizes it's the lair of carnivorous fish kings, and she just ate one of them. While daydreaming, Saiou hears a strange sound beside her. An invisible energy blast hits from behind, catching her off guard. Before her appears the true form of Fish King Ryan, ruler of the Abyss. The earlier grilled creature was merely a low-grade clone. On another front, Fangoo hurls a thunderous punch at the monster's tentacle, but Guanga seems to enjoy the shock as if getting a luxury massage. Fangoo gapes, "What the heck? You can absorb electricity." Guanga smirks, boasting eel genes that make him stronger with every zap. Fangoo snaps and ignites flames to turn him into grilled fish. Firestorms roar like hell's tornadoes, swallowing the foe, yet Guanga stands calmly in the inferno, absorbing the heat. Fangoo almost loses it. How is this fight even logical anymore? The opponent arches a brow, revealing Pompeii worm genes lava-proof. He eyes Fangoo curiously, doubting a zombie could think or fight so well. He softly offers, "Let me pass, and you live." But Fangoo flatly refuses. His only goal is the energy core. Guanga turns cold as steel, vowing never to let the relic fall into his hands. Fangoo sneers, announcing a brand new technique. The Thundershock chain strike booms like sky-splitting thunder. Yet Guanga stands tall, leaving Fangoo speechless. The man even toys with the attack, molding the energy into playful spheres. Suddenly he freezes, face twisting. Something's wrong inside his system. He panics as his absorption cells stop functioning properly. Fangoo instantly grasps it. His strike pierced the defense and bounced back, double damage. Guanga smokes from the backlash, face contorted with disbelief and fury. Without pause, Fangoo gathers all power for a final blow, but suddenly, blazing golden chain shoots and, binding all his energy, the dark vortex seals away, fading with a ghostly hiss. Tutu appears, eyes as he stops. Saiou go. Now, another cyborg arrives, horrified that the first-gen mech truly exists. Fangoo halts, bewildered, asking Tutu why she interfered, and demands Guanga tell his exile story. Guanga stays silent a moment, then begins from the great chaos in Hope City. He recalls being betrayed, exiled, and branded a tech threat, shouting, "Burn the bridge." After crossing. The cruel truth: humans feared cyborg power more than war itself. They used Guanga's daughter as leverage, promising her safety if he surrendered. Bitterly, he admits that threat drove him to his worst decision ever. In despair, he agreed, trading honor for a fragile hope. He chose to personally manage the exile plan, hoping for some peace between both sides. The first-gen mech Tutu was sent to the human base for disassembly and study. He and his legion, meanwhile, were cast into deadly waters and swallowed by a giant beast. When they awoke, they found themselves living inside the creature's stomach. That colossal octopus had devoured an entire town, which became their unwilling refuge. Guanga used the town's parts to turn himself cyborg, linking to the monster's heart and brain as a symbiotic entity. He put the whole army into deep sleep and sealed the zone with anti-intrusion code, buying time to save his daughter. Over endless years, his memory blurred. He no longer knew if she lived or became dust. Now, the simultaneous arrival of evolved mutants and the first-gen mech shattered all logic. Fangoo softly asked if he'd wish to see his daughter again. Should she live? Guanga sighed, saying his fuse with the beast and can't leave even if he wants to. Tutu suddenly conceived a daring idea to split the energy core and free him. The plan involved dismantling the nucleus and reconnecting it with auxiliary mecha limbs. The reboot process finished smoothly, flooding the chamber with blazing light. As the system stabilized, Guanga trembled. Unbelievable, I'm truly reborn. The woman smiled, revealing his new body contained all posture historical data. It also held clues to his daughter's secret hideout. The screen lit up. Guang Xiaofi's image appeared, bringing tears to his eyes. Then his fist smashed the wall, fury erupting like a storm, his voice heavy. Guanga blamed himself for being deceived by Neohumans, yet grateful his daughter lived. He added that the Neohuman faction was growing strong, forcing mutations to retake Hope City as a base. His doubtful gaze turned to them. You came for the energy core and the sleeping legion, didn't you? Fangoo nodded plainly, without denial. Guanga sternly set a condition: fulfill one request, and all would be theirs. Fangoo agreed firmly, vowing to give his all. The doctor pulled him close, whispering something no one else could hear. Fangoo's face shifted slightly, but Guanga signaled for silence. Outside, the floating city drifted over a quiet ocean, covered with mutant creatures. Then the massive octopus rose, its roar echoing to the horizon. Fangoo smiled. That's enough. I'll handle the rest. Tutu asked in surprise, you're not going back to seek Xiaofi? Guanga sadly shook his head, saying he still had unfinished business. He asked Fangoo to protect Xiaofei in his stead, and reminded him never to forget the promise just made. We must win the war against the Neohumans, he declared firmly. In the end, they returned safely to Hope City with the energy core. Upon activation, the immense power flared like a second sun. The light spread, illuminating the sky, a herald of a new era. The system chimed cheerfully, rewarding them with gold and rare loot boxes. Fangoo looked at his stats, relieved. Now rich and strong, no longer a lost soul. He asked the system how to transfer gold to the real world, got detailed instructions and advice to keep some in reserve. The screen flashes 390,000 gold. Fangoo's eyes nearly pop out. He mutters, huh, the in-game shop is real. The system confirms it's a special mutant hybrid shop selling weapons, skills, and rare loot. An info card pops up with full product details. The title glows: primary mutant evolution. The price list alone makes anyone sweat. Evolution cards, skill boxes, even nuclear tanks. Fangoo laughs helplessly. Great stuff, but prices that could kill a wallet. He decides to spend a little gold to pay his father's hospital bills, then orders a new quest. The system teases him for being proactive, then cheerfully announces the next challenge. New mission: find the player merged with the insect queen. He looks at the queen's body, eyes flickering with awkward hesitation. With a tired sigh, he mutters, another newbie. Seriously. Then he smacks his forehead. Crap. Saiou still trapped down there? At that moment, Guanga hauls in a massive fish weighing a ton. He tosses it into the lake Dabao. Dinner time, your favorite dish. From below, a giant fish beast leaps up, swallowing it in one gulp. Noticing the tail vanish too quickly, Guanga frowns in suspicion, feeling uneasy. He dives in, calling for his beloved creature. Seeing Dabao motionless, he panics, shouting nonstop. Not far away, Saiou is surrounded by mutant fish while Longsak yells she carries carnivorous fish genes. Guanga instantly assumes she ate Dabao, but soon recognizes her as Xiaogo's ally via old data. Now Saiou's body mutates wildly, her breath erratic and unstable. Guanga realizes she's absorbed too many predator genes, powerful but losing control. If stabilized, she could be a great ally, so he decides to help recalibrate her first. Elsewhere, Saiou enjoys being surrounded by a circle of gorgeous women. He flirts shamelessly, inviting Baiyu his room tonight for evolution research. He brags and grins, planning an all-night study with two giggling girls. But suddenly, the door bursts open like an action movie, shattering the dream. Saiou flares up in panic, summoning fire. Who dares ruin my fun? Before he can strike, a strange hand slaps him straight in the face. He crashes to the floor like a sandbag, groaning in pain. A chilling voice says, you dare resist? Recognizing her, he switches tone instantly. Sister Guanglin, you were looking for me. He whines about the violence, but Guanglin coldly replies, I'm not the one who needs you. A deep voice sounds from behind the boss does. Saiou drops to his knees, stammering, Brother Guiyan, say the word, your humble servant obeys. Guiyan's icy tone cuts him off. Fail again, and you won't get another chance. Saiou stares in disbelief. No way, the Fangying squad lost. He stammers about the 2 aides he sent, then shivers, realizing none returned. A grim feeling creeps in. Don't tell me they're all dead. Guiyan smirks faintly. While you were busy playing around, the zombies have already evolved. Not just stronger, they now have leaders. each a human-shaped nightmare. He orders Guanglin to lead the squad, with Saiou commanding 10 meteor members to purge the toxic forest. If you find a zombie leader, Guyen growls, capture it alive, I want research material. Yes, sir, echoes through the night, marking the start of a bloody massacre. At the same time, Yuding adjusts her VR headset switch to night mode. Entering the virtual world, she feels lonely. None of her old teammates are online. She sighs, missing the days chatting and laughing with Tutu and Xiaogo. Those jerks bullied Xiaogo, it's all their fault. She fumes, and they even caused his father's hospitalization. Her voice trembles. A nearby player mentions the strongest rebel recruiting hunters to fight evolved zombies. Yuding sighs, half curious, half uneasy. This game's getting weirder. She knows only a secret system invite can truly awaken a player's power. Thinking so, she taps the main interface, waiting for something to happen. A sudden alert invites her to rescue teammates captured by the mutant lord. The message promises fame, strength, an entirely new hidden class. Yuding frowns. Could this be a trap? Elsewhere, Fangoo suddenly feels a stabbing pain in his head. He winces. What the why does my head hurt? He muses, zombies can't catch colds, maybe it's a quest side effect. He figures the plan to lure Yuding has begun. Half guilty, half hopeful, she takes the bait. Inside the insect queen's body, a faint twitch shakes the air. She suppresses sharp pain as energy currents spiral through her veins. Dark blue aura spreads, the omen of an awakening beyond control. Yuding jolts awake, horrified to find herself in an unknown place. She looks around the ruined park, whispering, "Oh no, I've been tricked. Haven't I?" Familiar voice. Fangoo smirks, asking if Yuding has forgotten who he is. She freezes, realizing she's actually in a zombie's body. Shocked, she suspects Xiaogo and the others were deceived by this creature. Afraid and alone, she wonders what to do next. Fangoo tries to reassure her, insisting he's the real Xiao, but her reaction leaves him speechless. Yuding coldly accuses him of trying to invade her mind. She declares the real Xiaogo could never become a zombie. She suspects his imprisoned Xiaogo and the rest. She warns him release them, or face dire consequences. The ground trembles as strange energy surges from deep below. She vows to destroy him if he dares resist. Fangoo realizes the giant insects are powers of this body. This body belongs to the legendary insect queen herself. A creature once thought myth now stands before him. Had only seen vague descriptions of them in the game before. The insect queen command entire swarms and unleash arrow-eyed assaults. Panicked, Yuding unconsciously activates the ability. At this point, words are useless. The swarm instantly marks Fangoo as the enemy to annihilate. Is forced to fight back while trying to awaken her consciousness. A powerful explosion halts the swarm for a brief moment. Fangoo slashes down, shouting for her to look at herself. Yuding's body starts cracking apart, fragments falling away. She stares, stunned by the strange reflection before her. She realizes in horror that her current form is no longer human. The system confirms Fangoo's identity, helping her grasp the truth. Seeing his familiar name, tears stream down. She's found the real Xiaogo. She calms, listening as Fangoo and Tutu explain everything. She finally understands the mutants were the ones oppressed all along. Yuding vows to join the mutants and take revenge on the Neohumans. Fangoo calmly reminds her to stay focused, other urgent matters await. She eagerly agrees, promising full support to her senior. Fangoo notes she's still a bit timid, but her combat potential is terrifying. He realizes her power could shift the entire war. With Tutu handling base building, Yuding doesn't need to assist there. He decides to take her on an upgrade mission for further growth. The system chimes reward time and a new mission have arrived. Fangoo logs in, receiving congratulations and 15,000 gold. Emergency mission: eliminate Guanglin and Xiaohu before disaster strikes. Two familiar faces flash through his mind. They're the same enemies he once fought. He acts instantly, assigning Tutu tasks and bringing Yuding along. Scene cuts to a hidden base unknown to all. Guanglin nervously says their escape routes are sealed. Death means deletion. Xiaohu smirks arrogantly, assuring he can handle zombies. She suddenly asks why Feng Ying died. He admits it was his own carelessness that killed the comrade. She coldly replies that even more people would bridge their power gap. Guanglin hands him 2 syringes from Guyen, warning the side effects are unknown. He grabs one eagerly, eyes blazing with thrill. He boasts one shot is enough to burn every zombie alive. Fire bursts around him as he readies a devastating attack. At that moment, Saiou begins to wake. She's still dazed, like rising from a long dream. She stammers, unsure where she even is, recalling her meal with Xiaogo. She panics. Why did she faint? A screen lights up. Guanga greets her for the first time. He explains she overvolved from eating mutant fish, causing temporary loss of control, but her friends are safe. Hearing that, she blushes deeply. Too embarrassed to look up, Guanga gently suggests she accompany him and prepare for an epic culinary journey. She brightens instantly, thrilled as if she had just won the jackpot. They ride the giant octopus tentacles toward a palace deep under the sea. Guanga leads the way, saying this is the ancient resting place of the Titans. It's the ruin of a civilization long buried by time. On the faded walls, murals still depict tales of the primeval age. He explains those legends are actually hidden history. On the left mural, ancient people once mastered core energy. The energy core he owns is but a fragment of that greatness. Despite their brilliance, That civilization still feared divine beings. The gods they worshipped were the monstrous creatures sleeping below. The underwater temple is actually a sacrificial altar feeding it energy to keep it asleep forever. Their ancestors trembled for that being held power enough to upend the cosmos. Its greatest horror lies within its absurdly mutated gene sequence. That sequence spreads like a plague. The infected either die or mutate, and no one knows its origin. Many scholars believe every mass extinction and evolutionary leap traces back to that creature. Nuclear wars didn't destroy humanity, they accidentally woke what was sleeping. Its single roar scattered mutation genes across the planet before it slept again. The aftermath spiraled beyond salvation. Mutation ran wild. Guanga believes studying its genes could restore Xiaofi's humanity. But the path to where the spirit sleeps stretches endlessly ahead. The way is infested with bloodthirsty mutant beasts waiting to ambush. While he lectures endlessly, Saiou just eats happily like she's on a picnic. Guanga sighs helplessly, warning her not to wander off mid-meal. The scene shifts amid ruins. A massive mutant creature appears. It senses something sneaking up from behind. Before it can turn, a lightning-fast strike hits. The giant falls dead without a sound. A black hand pierces through its chest like through mud. The killer Guanglun calmly complains about the endless monsters. Saiou burns the corpse eagerly, proposing they head straight into Thorn Forest. The others arrive, panting and whining about being left behind. Girl laughs, praising Xiao's fairy skill. But behind her, a beast lunges like a storm. It bites half her body off, blood splatters everywhere. Guanglun shouts in shock it's a zombie hound. He quickly realizes their appearance here is unnatural. Saiou disagrees, saying their speed surpasses any normal zombie. The female teammate panics, ordering everyone to regroup immediately. It's clear the pack has evolved to a new lethal tier. At the same time, Guanga and Saiou slip beneath a colossal beast. Before the creature can react, its head and body are cleaved apart in a blink. The duo moves in perfect sync, cutting down hordes of mutants along the way. Guanga exhales in relief, joking that Saiou's appetite makes him oddly reassured. They finally break through and reach the deepest level, before a hall lined with stone statues. Guanga concludes they've reached the main temple, is surprised not to see the colossal being mentioned in ancient texts. They walk past moss-covered statues, doubting the legend's truth, but from above, one mysterious statue watches them silently. Guanga speculates a special ritual might be needed to summon the deity. Suddenly, one statue raises its hand, tentacles sprout, twisting like snakes. It morphs into a monstrous arm radiating killing intent, then lifts a stone scythe, ready to strike from behind. The blow comes silently, swift and deadly, yet Saiou blocks it calmly. As if expecting it, all the statues begin to move, no longer pretending to be dead. Dozen after dozen encircle them, making Guanga shiver. He suspects these are kin to the ancient creature itself. No time to think, he draws his energy gun and fires. The laser flares, blasting a statue midair. Shards rain across the temple floor, but the severed tentacles crawl again. Alive, they merge, multiply, doubling their numbers. Guanga frowns and curses. They can reproduce too. He yells for Saiou to defend herself and stop them from spreading further. He turned back, stunned by the bizarre sight. To die, it was munching on a statue with her tentacled mouth like breakfast. Guanga was speechless, admitting she really did fight by eating. Her tentacles stretched, radiating terrifying pressure that shook the temple. She wrapped the statues tightly, letting none escape. With a calm face, she gnawed stone chunks like snacks. Elsewhere, Guanglun and Saiou were still locked in fierce battle. Saiou raged at the absurdly evolved zombie dogs. He roared, going all out, treating them as worthless trash. His body shot forth like a rocket, fiery fists smashing the enemy. The punch sent foes flying, forcing UNZ to retreat fast. He laughed victoriously, flaunting his unleashed power. Guanglun warned him to save strength, not burn out early, but moments later, strange firepower blasted from behind. They leapt aside and shouted at the unseen attacker. A cold voice answered, "It's me." The figure revealed herself as Dr. Tan. Claiming they'd forgotten her too long, Saiou gasped, unable to believe Tan had become a zombie. Dr. Tan Esley admitted her old self was dead. Only hatred remained. She vowed to grind them into fine dust without mercy. Saiou sneered, calling her confidence baseless. He ignited, body blazing, ready to strike, but Tan calmly ordered her child to appear. A small boy stepped out, her own son, she said. Meanwhile, Guanglun was fleeing for her life across rooftops. She gritted her teeth, baffled that game zombies were this strong. All her plans crumbled, leaving her in chaos. As she sought escape, a shadow blocked her way. It was T-09, a high-grade zombie, declaring her doom was near. Without hesitation, Guanglun kicked back, but the attack did nothing. The creature mocked her. T-09 grabbed her like seizing weak prey, then slammed her down, ready to finish her off. Thanks to quick reflexes, Guanglun narrowly dodged death. She rose, balancing amid the relentless assault. Pulling out a syringe, she injected herself, eyes blazing with resolve, her body convulsed, veins writhing like living snakes. A monstrous power burst forth, shaking the air around her. Guanglun charged, recognizing the foe as an old experiment. She roared, vowing to destroy it with her own hands. Punch was caught by T-09 as if it were a toy, but she countered swiftly, a kick sending the enemy flying. She smirked. Sure, the creature was finished. T09 rose, voice deep like a waking beast. She declared the real fight was just beginning. Sensing danger, Guanlin quickly pulled back. From T09's body sprouted 4 new arms, a living nightmare. In a flash, 2 arms seized Guanlin tight. The other 4 pummeled her in a blinding combo. As she fell, T09 lifted her to flaunt victory. She asked her master's command regarding the captive. Above, Fangoo folded his arms, praising her and ordering capture for interrogation. He sighed, regretting not letting Wu Ting fight, foreseeing the Neohuman faction's outrage. Before that happened, he needed every scrap of intel on the enemy. Back in the temple, Guanga kept searching in confusion. He suspected all the hidden mechanisms had been eaten clean by 2 diet. She clutched her belly, groaning that she was too full to move. Suddenly her body trembled violently, shifting unnaturally. Guanga panicked, thinking she had overdosed on monster flesh and gone allergic. Before he could think further, 2 diet vomited dark red liquid like fresh blood. At that instant, strange light burst beneath their feet. A blazing red totem emerged, swirling like living fire across the hall. The dazzling glow made the stone floor quake fiercely. Then the entire temple collapsed as if hollowed from within. Guanga realized this wasn't a shrine but a gateway deep underground. He saw it required ancient beast genes as the activation key. The system worked through a complex genetic lock mechanism. They gripped their weapons tightly, staring into the abyss unsure where the path led.